those of you who don't know me, my name is Mike Henderson. I don't talk really long in the lecture. Lectures. That's like my thing, my signature, very short lecture. And I normally give out like a handout, maybe once during the quarter. Anyway, this will be different from any other history class. I guess I'll just say, animation history. It actually didn't start as far as American animation. It started in France. It didn't start in America. Later, it came to America. But in France, there were a lot of scientists, and they were working with what they call a persistence of vision. And basically, persistence of vision just means creating what they call either an optical illusion or something that simulates movement is what it is. And they were really curious with that. So curious to the point where there were a lot of studies made, and during those studies, these scientists came up with different little inventions to actually see little characters or little images move around. And they created several inventions. In 1928, again, if you excuse my pronunciation of some of these words, because it's kind of hard to pronounce, the phenakisoscope and the zoetrope, which I'm going to show you what they look like. These two ideas came into existence, where they actually had either a little image actually moving around in a spinning wheel, or they had you've probably seen the one where they have it's like a circular card, like a square or a circle card, and on one side it'll have a bird, and on the other side it'll have a cage, and then when you expand the rubber band, it spins around and it looks like the bird is in the cage. Well, this actually caught the attention, these ideas, they caught the attention of early filmmakers. And you got to remember, in the early days of filmmaking, film basically was anything that was projected. So if you lived in the late 1800s and you went to a theater and you were going to see something that was, in their terminology, a film, it would be an image that would be projected on the screen or projected on the wall, and it would be accompanied by somebody on an organ, and they would be playing a little song, and then there'd be some man and woman, or woman, and they would be actually telling you a story. And if you look at it from our point of view, it would have been like, oh no, there's no way in hell I'm sitting there. I don't know. But you got to remember, they didn't have anything to compare that to. So if you saw an image on the wall, and then it was replaced by another image, that was fantastic. That was great. You could go home to your neighborhood, you could say, yeah, I saw a guy on a bike, and then the guy was off the bike. It was amazing, man. Unbelievable. All your neighbors would be like, man, where'd you see that at? Where'd you see it? Well, it was in a theater, and I think the show is gone now. Man, how many did it cost? It cost like 2 bits. Because back then, a penny was of great value. And as time went on, we used to have the tape that actually showed that. We don't have that, but as time went on, the emergence of several different things came into existence. And the most interesting thing, I think, historically for animation was the flip book. When the flip book came into existence, believe it or not, there was a man who would stand in a booth, and people would stand in a line. And they would come, and there was a little cutout window in this cardboard-like booth, and they would poke their head in for a quarter. The guy would hold a series of papers, and he would flip it. You'd see the little image, you say, okay, that's pretty good, huh? And then they would go on their way, Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to do that when I get out of this class. I'm going to put that together, flip book, Now, it might not work now, okay? I think if you stand inside of a cardboard box, you got a little flip book in your hand, they're probably going to kick that box over. They're probably going to be mad when they see what you have inside. That's all you got? Yeah, it's cool, huh? Yeah, I hate that, So, but you gotta look at it, the discoveries that came into existence at that particular time, most of the emphasis is on the time period itself. And because we can't really compare it, to what we know of as film and animation today. I mean, this was the early days when they really didn't have, like, this was like they were just starting.
I'm getting in this class.
Hold on. Oh, you want that? Okay. So, as time went on, as I was saying, there were a lot of inventions that led to the discovery or the development of animation. In 1979, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this guy, a man named, here you go, a man by the name of